Welcome to the Game Changers Podcast, bringing you insights and influencers from the wide world of sports, business, and personal development. Here's your host, former professional athlete, author, speaker, and game changer himself, Rennie Curran. It's time to get your head in the game.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Game Changer Podcast. Once again, my name is Rennie Curran. I'm a speaker, author, and the CEO of Game Changer Coaching. I want to spend some time in this episode number 20, just talking about the idea and concept of dealing with sudden change. But before that, I want to give a special shout out to all those fathers out there for this past Father's Day weekend who are doing the right thing, who are sacrificing for their kids, inspiring them, encouraging them, and just doing whatever you have to do to provide for them. For me, I'm blessed to have a beautiful 9-year-old daughter, Rennie Curran. She keeps me my hands tied. She keeps me on my toes, and but I love her. You know, it's one of the best jobs I have is being a father and being able to do the things that I need to do to be the best man that I can be for her. And she really inspires me to just be a better man. But without further ado, just getting into this topic, I got a quote that I came across, and it's from Lao Tzu. And it says, "Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like." When it comes to dealing with sudden change, I believe that's definitely one of the methods that you can use to deal with that. With life changes is to embrace it. To let reality be reality, to not resist change, to not go into panic or into crisis mode, but to really embrace change. And when I think about my career, when I think about my life and the different things and situations that I've encountered, I really realize that sudden change has played such a major role in my development. And I think about it in terms of, especially as an athlete, and if you're an athlete, you'll be able to relate to this, but there were points in the game where, you know, we knew we were going to win, where we were up by 3-4 touchdowns and the game was over. We were ready to just wrap it up for the day. But then there were other times where we would be facing a really good team. We would be facing some serious opposition, and it was a dogfight. And so we might be up at some point during the game, but then all of a sudden, tragedy would strike. All hell would break loose. That quarterback might drop back and throw a long pass for a touchdown, or our quarterback might throw a touchdown, or running back might fumble, and all of a sudden on defense we got to rush back on the field, and it's really easy to get caught up in those moments, in your emotions and pointing fingers and who did what wrong. But in these moments, I realize, and it's not only a lesson for football, but also in life, that these things are going to happen, that sudden change will occur. And whether in life, if things are going well, things might be going perfect, all your bills are being paid, you know, life is sweet. You got to worry about going to the hospital. But all of a sudden, as you know, accidents happen all the time. All of a sudden, you could be going to visit the doctor and you get that diagnosis that you were not expecting, or somebody in your family, you get that phone call that, man, so-and-so is gone, or you lose your job, or that relationship or that marriage. All of a sudden, you get that divorce paper, you get that phone call or text that, hey, this is over. Life has a way of just throwing curveballs at us. And not only do you have to be good at just handling sudden change, but I believe that you also have to have a plan so that when sudden change happens, you know how to deal with it. Because the point that I've reached is understanding that it's not if these moments will happen, it's really when will these moments happen. So preparation is definitely key. And, you know, as a game changer, when you're faced with these moments, you're always going to have a choice in how you choose to use these moments of sudden change. Either it's going to destroy you and knock you off course and knock you off your game, or sudden change will be that catalyst that helps you to tap in the best and most focused version of yourself. The next guest that I want to bring on to the show, he is one of those game changers who made the decision to use sudden tragic change that happened in his life to really propel him and to start him off on a journey of impact and inspiration. And in that, my book, that definitely makes him a game changer and somebody who I really, really, truly admire. So I'm excited for you to hear this next interview. I hope it inspires you, encourages you, and helps you to continue being a game changer. I want to welcome a very special game changer onto the show. He's straight out of Charlotte, North Carolina, one of my former teammates, former Georgia Bulldog, former Cleveland Browns wide receiver. Spent some time with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets as well. But I'm honored today to welcome this guy right here. He's got a very powerful story. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mohammed Massequoi. Mo, how you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks so much for joining me on the show.
For sure, anytime.
Definitely, man. So I'm excited. I'm honored. I know we've been talking about it for a while. You just coming on and sharing your powerful story, and I want to just start with your background. Just let everybody know just kind of what led you up to where you are today.
So we have something in common. Our parents are both Liberian. I'm a proud first generation born here in America, originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. Instead of football, how it's known around the world, I ended up playing football just because it was the American sport that everybody played. And that led over to the University of Georgia. And I was fortunate to, be able to play in the NFL as a second round pick. And that's a great experience. So, full circle, short snippet.
Right. That's awesome, man. What were kind of some of your earlier experiences that kind of built you into the man you are today? Any game changing moments as you progress? Through. I know you guys had some amazing experiences with just high school football and whatnot. You guys, I think, had a record. It had multiple records or something like that, right?
Yeah. So we are. I went to Independence High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, coached by Tommy Knotts. I think he's the best high school coach in the world. Nice. We won, I want to say, 7 or 8 state championships.
Wow.
And I was part of that. We never lost a game in high school. So I'm proud to say that. I've been down in Georgia. Everybody talks about Georgia football, but the team up in North Carolina, I think, would have beat everybody. So I'm a little biased in that regard.
Yeah,
but whenever you play for a guy like that, it just instills just what it takes to be a winner, what it takes to succeed at the high level. And I think that is what gave me an opportunity to play at a place like Georgia and be able to get drafted. And even coming to a place like Georgia, you get under Coach Rick's leadership, and you learn how to develop into a man. So you're combining those two different things to really shape you for who you're going to be. And I think they've done a great job in shaping me. Just continue to, win, succeed, deal with adversity, and come out the other side of it.
Oh yeah, man. No, that's awesome. I mean, just like, I know you know as well as I do, just your family background. You talked about your parents coming here just like mine did, and just starting a whole new life, creating a life for their kids, for their family, man. Can you talk about just like the values that your parents taught you, or just some of those early experiences and just being, and growing up as a son of Liberian immigrants, but also just learning from them, the cultures and the traditions.
It's special. It's actually funny that you bring that up. I did the DNA testing, the Ancestry.com testing.
Oh, wow.
And 100% comes from Africa. Like 96% comes from West Africa, and the other 4% is from Central Africa. So there's just a pride of being there. There's a pride of understanding who your folks are, what they stand for, culturally, tribally. And even while they came to America, I'm not sure if you remember, but around the time my parents came, which was in the early 80s, Civil War was breaking out, which was life and death. I actually lost my grandfather in that war. So just understanding just the privilege it is to be in America, to be born in America, the land of so much opportunity that, they literally fought their way to get over here. Just knowing that they passed the baton to you to go do something with it. Because as you know, there's a lot of people around the world who have great abilities. They just don't have the access to things that we have in America. So just, and always keeping that in the back of my mind and keep me grounded to make sure that I take advantage of everything. So it's a privilege, and it's also exciting just to, see what can I make of this experience.
Right. No, you're exactly right. And I was laughing when you said you did the ancestry test, and it was 96%. Like we can't claim no Native American or nothing like that.
Nah, bro. Nah, I might as well just save you the money and tell you that your style is gonna look similar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, I know a million people have asked you just about, just what recently happened, the accident that's happened, and of course, you don't have to go into any detail, but just kind of walk me through your experience since then. What that's taught you about life and just, moving forward.
Yeah. So last year I was involved in an ATV accident where I ended up losing my left hand as a result of a crash. I was coming around a corner and ended up actually losing control and flipping the ATV. And you think about just anything that you would ever think about going through in life. This is not one of them. So I'll definitely admit that it rocked my world. And even when the doctor first looked at me and said, "Hey, we're gonna have to amputate your hand," those are words that you really can't comprehend. So for the original phase, honestly, with the pain and other things, I was just in shock, just trying to understand what was going on. I played receiver, so and having two functioning hands allowed me to do some really unique things and like go to the NFL or get a scholarship to Georgia, get an education from Georgia, meet some of the people, all the bonds that I've met through sports. So just in not having that part of me that was so special to me, it rocked my world. But something that a lot of people don't know is before the crash, I almost had this snapshot of looking at the ground and thinking, "Oh my God, this could be the last thing that I see. This could be it."
Yeah.
And that picture ingrained in my head just tells me that life is to be lived, because at any moment it can be taken away. And after that experience and getting over the shock and getting over the pain and getting over just the trauma, I have this newfound respect and new high of life that I live on. So I'm excited for phase 2 of life.
Man, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. And a big thing for this show that I wanted to touch on, and what I thought about when I was thinking about bringing you on and your story, was this sudden change. And as you know, just in the game of football, in the game of life, like, you got to be ready for that sudden change that can happen at any time, whether in the game, if it's a turnover or just something going bad or what. And it sounds like that's what you really went through. And, as you know, our preparation is what helps us in those moments. And so when you look back over your life, what helped you really, when you got into that moment, to be able to overcome that sudden change?
It's interesting. Sports and life, they parallel so much, because you go through the off-season program, which is hard. You're getting back in shape and coaches are yelling at you. Then you go through camp and it's hot. People are yelling at you and your body's tired. You're injured. And then you get into the season and you're practicing, which isn't the fun part. And then you go into the game, and usually for offense, we script out the first 10 plays, or we have an idea of what the first quarter is going to look like. But as you know, once you get into the game, it's never like that.
Exactly.
There's some type of change. There's some type of wrinkle. And I think even in life, sometimes we script out, I want to be here at this age. I want to go to this college. I want this job. I want whatever. And then when those sudden changes happen, we haven't necessarily prepared. So for me, it's almost like I've been prepared for this my whole life in a weird way, just dealing with adversity, whether it be, your parents having to work hard, or your parents having to escape a traumatic situation that was life or death, or being an athlete and being injured, playing injured, dealing with adversity on teams, winning some games, losing some games. So when this happened, it was almost just a combination of all those different events rolled up into one, just magnified. Saying, okay, this is a big change.
Yeah, man.
A big change. But now how do I adjust so I can ultimately win the game?
Yeah, that's crucial, man. How do you make those adjustments? That's powerful. And I guess the next question I have, man, is what were some of the truths that you learned, man, as you were going through that process? Because I know, it's life altering. And I know when I went through my situation of being a free agent, where life just completely changed, there were certain things that I learned just about life, man. So I would love to hear just from you, kind of as you've gone through the process now, coming out on the other side of that sudden change, and now continuing to progress. What are some of the things that you've learned just about life in general that really helped you?
You can't run from it. it's almost like if you're on a game analogy, the game is 4 quarters. There's nobody's gonna stop it early. You don't get any breaks. There's nothing like that, and you have to understand that you could be up 1, you could be up 7, you could be down 7, you could be down 20, and just understanding what it was. So for me, I had to come to the realization that I'm an amputee now. I'll never have those fingers back. I have a prosthetic device which I use as a tool, but that part of my left hand will never come back. So in just understanding that and owning that, it allowed me to heal. I think that it's crucial to heal, because if you don't heal, you're almost in this fairy tale that you're just not owning it. So after I did that, healed, I took some time to just regroup and say, okay, who am I?
Right.
Who am I, and what do I want to be? And I just started to just map it out. And a lot of times as athletes, our identity gets wrapped up in just the sport. As you know, we all retire. We all have to transition to other things, and just understand, okay, who am I holistically? What's the package? What am I trying to accomplish? That really helped me to just continue to move forward and strive for some goals.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, bro. You're right. Finding your identity is just such a crucial part of life, and like you said, man, so many of us athletes, our identity is just wrapped into that. So you're right. Whenever that moment comes where we have to change, it's always a challenge. But like you said, you've been prepared for it your whole entire life. So I really appreciate you sharing that, man. That's powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just piggybacking off that, man. Another question I just thought of as you were speaking, it's just, what would you say to those out there who are kind of going through that sudden change, or who haven't even gotten there, but they're getting ready to come up and face that sudden change? I think about those college students, or even those people who are in a position of success right now, and it's coming.
Yeah.
What would you say to them if you could sit down with them one-on-one?
One, that is coming. And, people define success many ways. Sometimes it's in celebrity, sometimes it's monetary, sometimes it's some metric that they put out for themselves. But no matter how you define it, even when things are going good, life just throws adversity at you. And for me, I would tell everybody to just take time, take quiet time to really find out, who do you want to be? A lot of times people, they are who they think the world wants them to be, and they don't really tap into who they want to be, or the goals that they want to go after, the things that they want to pursue, the interests that they have, because they almost put this mask on, per se. And I think once you get a chance to spend time with yourself and understand, okay, where am I trying to go? What am I trying to accomplish? What am I trying to do? You have this clearer picture, so that when adversity does happen, you have this North Star that you're always aiming towards. If you don't have a North Star, then you get swayed off course and you lose direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You hit that on the head with just knowing, or having a North Star, like you said, knowing your values, knowing your mission, knowing who you want to be. That's amazing, man. I appreciate you sharing that.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I had the question just slipped my mind that I had next. But,
come on, man. You African, man.
I know, right? It's all these hits to the head, man, playing linebacker. That's just be evaporating, man. But that's I really appreciate you sharing your story. And like the next question I have is, and which is something that I always ask everybody when they come on the show, is what does being a game changer mean to you?
It's creating an impact. Is whatever the highest level of your potential is striving for that, and having the confidence to go after it. So when you see a game changer, they stand out. There's something about them that stands out to them. It's their performance, one. It's their demeanor. It's their confidence. It's their level of preparation. It's the total package. So for me, it's just understanding that doesn't happen overnight. It's understanding that it's a process. And using the same idea of how long it took to get to the NFL. in those years, those 14, 15-year process, I started playing around 7 or 8, and it took that long to be able to see the dream manifested. So even in now in this different phase, and understanding that a game changer wants to play at the highest level and wants to succeed at the highest level. And it's important to set that foundation and just continue to climbing up those steps. There are no elevator rides to get there. And then once you do get there, you would have been prepared. That adversity would have strengthened you. Those lessons that you learned along the way would have put you in a position to take true advantage, create, like Steve Jobs would say, your dent in the universe.
Right.
So for me, being a game changer is just sticking to the process to get to your ultimate highest level of potential.
Definitely, man. That's great. Killed it, man. The next question I have, just piggybacking off of that, I see you making tons of moves, man. And that's one thing I've always been admired about you, is that you're a constant learner. You're not only a hard worker, but just an intelligent person as well. Always forward thinking, always looking, to progress yourself. And so, what are you kind of doing now, as far as with your career to be that game changer? Like, how are you hoping to make that mark with, the experiences that you've had? I've seen that you work with a few organizations that help amputees and whatnot. So how does Mohammed Massequoi hope to leave that impact and be a game changer for the world?
Well, on the amputee cause, the one thing that it's a part of me. So everyone that's an amputee, we share the same story, we share the same journey.
Right.
And the thing that I have for that is just creating a whole foundation around it, especially for kids. These devices are very expensive.
Yeah.
The process of getting them is very tedious. So for 2019, I'm going to do the first tennis tournament to be able to raise money, and then that will be followed by a gala. And it's just important just to use the platform to be able to help these individuals who will need these different devices. The life cycle on them 3 to 5 years. So you're just thinking, I got my device when I was 31, and there was a lot of life experience. I can imagine being a kid and still wanting to play sports or still aspire to do certain things and not be able to do it because you've lost a limb or you were born without a limb. Some of the challenges that come out of it. So that's going to be a passion project that I want to make sure I execute at a high level. And from a professional career side, I've gotten an opportunity to do a lot of speaking, engaging, just to be able to share my story and inspire people who have either been in a situation or trying to come out of a situation or reach their highest potential based off of my accident and some of the football experiences. And I think that there's a lot of interesting, unique stories that I offer to be able to help those people reach their highest potential. And something that I've always just thought about, I'm a psych major, and just the idea of who people are and what they do have always fascinated me. And I'm always going to be an athlete. You're always going to be an athlete. But the only difference is that we don't play anymore. And the idea of how do you help an athlete transition into something else is the thing that I'm pursuing full time. I used to think that it was the financial management piece, which a lot of people, they harp on athletes for going broke. Right. But I was a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley and saw that financial management as a whole in America, there's some challenges there. So it's almost unfair to single out athletes at sometimes. Right. But if you can help a person find that second career, or if you can help a person find a way to continue to produce income, then you somewhat offset that. So that is what I'm pursuing right now, as to how do you create a venture? How do I create a venture to help athletes transition into other things while they're playing, or after they're playing, and also thinking about it while they're still playing, so that time in between isn't wasted.
Yeah, that's good stuff, bro. I'm so excited to see what you're gonna do in the future. I know everything is gonna come together beautifully, and like you already killing it with everything that you've done so far, man. So I just want to commend you, man, and just encourage you to keep fighting, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You definitely inspire me with everything that you've been able to overcome and what you continue to do. So keep pushing, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I say the same thing to you. Life is short.
Right.
This would be my 10-year anniversary from graduating from Georgia, and just thinking about how quick that went.
Right.
And I know sometimes we push things off into the future, and when right now is actually the time to start working on all those things. And sometimes people are scared because of certain commitments or responsibilities that they have, or they're scared to take a risk, and they shouldn't be, because as you know, adversity is going to happen regardless. So you might as well get involved while you can,
right.
versus waiting and never really seeing this thing through. So I admire what you're doing. I admire everybody that is pursuing their passions and their dreams, and not just, taking a cookie cutter method of doing what they think they're supposed to do.
Yeah, man. Now, you're right. It's a grind, but it's worth it, man.
Anything worth having is a grind.
Right. Well, man, how can those listening right now follow you and keep up with your story and support what you're doing?
Well, my website is my name, www.mohammedmassequoi.com. Iron Massequoi on all social media outlets. That's kind of been my taking a page out of Tony Stark's
right.
whole Iron Man moniker. Yeah, so I'm on there. Not as savvy as I need to be, but I'm learning. So by the time they hear this, I will be much more improved on those outlets. But yeah, that's my journey.
Dope, man. Dope. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on the Game Changer podcast. I wish you continued success, bro. You know I'm always here for you whenever you need my support, man. So much love, bro. And God bless.
God bless. Likewise. Keep going. You'll always have my support.
Appreciate you, man. And go Dogs.
Of course. Go Dogs. I'll see you in the fall.
All right, bro. There it is. I'm so thankful that you had the opportunity to tune in to this wonderful interview by my former teammate, good friend and brother, Mohammed Massequoi. Such a powerful just story, and so many great insights from just talking about finding your identity and who you will become when sudden change happens. And then also just the compassion that is so important when you face times of challenge and times of adversity. Using your pain, using your past experiences, using your failures to really impact others, and kind of flipping those failures and those low points in your life on its head and using it for something good. That's a lot of what I took away from his message and from his story. And that's one of the things I love so much about this show and about what I have the opportunity to do, because normally you wouldn't hear a story like that from an athlete. Like if you're watching the ESPN, I mean, even though they once in a while do segments and whatnot, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a guy like Mohammed and many of the other guys who I interviewed just, under the helmet, scoring a touchdown or making plays and nothing beyond that. So I hope that interview really, really inspired you, encouraged you, and really helps you in whatever that you're doing in life. And I want to challenge you also to take a visit to my website, RennieCurran.com, and if I can ever help you, I'll be more than happy to. I offer services for athletes, for business professionals, for executives in the area of leadership, career performance, and branding. So feel free to visit RennieCurran.com, drop me an email, let me know I can help you, and I'll be sure to get back to you. And as I always say, be a game changer.